Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Happy New Year, and yeah, we're in a new simulator. This is Prepared version 5, replacing Prepared version 4 for, well, better graphics and better performance basically, and hopefully better flights as well. So yeah, we're underground here at Edinburgh. It's currently 8:15 in the morning in the sim. And we're taking this lovely PMDG 737-800 down to Lanzarote today, the Canary Island. So we're taking a zero fuel weight of 57.4 tons, 151 passengers, and 13.7 tons of fuel on board today. Yeah, it's going to be a 4-hour, 45-minute flight, roughly, and it should be a good one. It's the first flight of the year, first flight in the new sim. I hope it's a good one. So, without further ado, let's hop into the flight deck. So it's cold and dark, there's nothing on at the moment. Everything's looking, well, cold and dark. So we'll get the battery master on, alternate flap switch is guarded. Windshield wipers in the park position. Standby power is guarded with the light off. The electric hydraulic pumps are off while the engine hydraulic pumps are on. There. We've all got low pressure at the moment, that's fine. And the landing gear lights are on, as well as the landing gear lever being down. So, as you can see, we have the ground power unit, the GPU already out here, so the ground power available light is on, so we can just turn on the ground power switch. And we have ground power now, so we can get the dome light on, we can get some panel lights on as well, circuit breakers, overhead panel, main panel, pedestal. Yeah, just about 8:15 anyway in the morning. Here in Edinburgh. So we want to get the IRSs onto nav. Check the GPS light is off, service interphone is off, the engine reverser and engine control lights are both off. You can get the EECs on. Crew oxygen is 1600 psi, which is what we want. The secondary landing gear lights are all on. Passenger oxygen and flight recorder are guarded. So oil quantity looks good, and hydraulic quantity is fine for now. So we can request catering service from GSX. Go for British Airways, I guess, and Wizzy Air. Just go for default choices. So that's great. So we can come straight to the CDU. Our fuel in, so it's 13,653 kilograms for the block fuel, and a zero fuel weight of 57.4. It's the payload and fuel set, so can come to the actual FMC now. So the ident page, we are 737-800 with the blended winglets, you can see here. Engine rating is 26k, the AIRAC data is a little bit out of date, but it is fine. I've checked, the route is completely functional. We can come to position initialization. We're at Echo Golf Papa Hotel, which is Edinburgh Airport. We're at stand 34, which is kind of like sort of remote ramp, kind of far away from any of the terminal buildings. I think that's a terminal there, roughly. So we can go to the next page here, take the GPS left reading, stick it in here. Now the plane will know where we are once the IRSs are aligned. So it's Echo Golf Papa Hotel Golf Charlie Romeo Romeo is our company route. It's a runway 24 departure today, and our call sign is Chanex 7 Delta Bravo. So So we can come to route. We're out via the GoSam1 Charlie SID, I believe. So runway 24, GoSam1 Charlie. Then step through the route should take us to Turtle. It's fine. Activate and execute that for now. And performance initialization, 0 fuel weight. Our reserves are approximately 2.2. Yes, they are 2.2. Cost index is 9. Initial cruise is flight level 240, where there will be step climbs after. You can open the catering doors on the right hand side of the aircraft. The cruise winds, according to Active Sky, at the top of climb the winds are 270 degrees at 62 knots. With an outside air temperature at top of climb of minus 38 degrees Celsius. Minus 38. And the transition altitude here at Edinburgh is 6,000 feet. So we can execute that. Fine. 24k D rate to climb 2. I normally do when there's a relatively long runway. Lap 5, CG is 20. Actually go to the next page and the runway slope in, and the runway winds, so that's 272 at 6. Currently here on the ground. CG will still be the same. It's 152 for V2, which can go in here. So 142 knots V1, 145 knots V rotate, and 152 for V2. So we can come to the overhead after we have requested boarding, because we want to get away in good time. So the flight control switches are guarded with the low pressure lights on, that's fine. We've not turned on the electric hydraulic pumps just yet. Spoiler switches are guarded, that's fine. The oil damper can come on. Standby hydraulic lights are all off. Control system lights are fine at the moment. The navigation and display sources are all normal or auto, which is fine. Engine valve closed and spar valve closed, lights are on. Crossfeed is closed. Crossfeed valve is closed with the light off. The filter bypass lights are off. The fuel pumps are all off, but we can turn on the forward left one for the APU. Close the catering doors. I believe. Actually, keep those open. My bad. They were going anyway, never mind. So catering door is closed. And that's fine. So back up to the overhead and set the DC electrical meter to standby power for now and do the APU generator as we're about to start the APU for AC. Cabin, utility and IFE flight entertainment switches are on. Generator drive disconnect switches are guarded with the lights on. Standby power again is guarded with the light off. Battery master we can cross check, that's guarded. Standby power transfer bus and source lights are off. So we can start the APU now. Equipment cooling, both normal. Emergency exit lights can be armed. Get the seatbelt signs on, window heats can come on. Wing and engine anti-ice, probably won't need that, it's 9 degrees outside. But it's off for now. Electric hydraulic pumps are off again. Trim air is on. The temperature selectors are fine, they're auto. Ram door, full open lights are on, that's fine. Recirc fans are auto. Get the packs to auto, isolation valves open. Engine and APU bleeds are all on. Initial cruise is 24,000 feet, so that can go in the pressurization panel here. The landing altitude at Lanzarote is 47 feet, I believe, so that can be rounded to 50. and the pressurization mode selector is auto. You can get the logo, wing, wheel well lights all on, and get the APU gens on, and now we're on APU power. So we can come to the EFIS panels, traffic on both sides, VORs are already on, terrain, data, airport, position, data, airport. Set the altimeter units to hectopascals, set the altimeter, it's 1002 is our current pressure. You can get the flight directors on, captains, first officers, the bank angle selector is fine, and the autopilot disengage bar is up. Reduce the range just slightly on the captain's PFD, and we can use the oxygen on both sides. Can set the elevator trims to 5.96. That'll do. And we have tested, I believe, oxygen on both sides. The clock is set and checked, those wheel steerings are guarded. The main panel dials are normal. Check the disengage lights and check master lights as well. So the N1 and speed reference bugs are auto. You can reset the fuel flow. There's nothing unusual on the engine displays. Set auto brake to RTO. So we can now open our left entry doors and our cargo doors. We can see that the FMA is blank and FD is shown on the PFD, which is what we'd want. Landing gear lever is down again with 3 green lights. GPWS NOP light is off, and GPWS switches are all guarded. So speed brake check, it's down. Reverse thrust levers are down. Forward thrust levers are idle. Parking brake can be set. Flaps are up, matching the indicator here. Stabilizer trim cutout switches are normal, and engine start levers are cut off. So coming down to pedestal, you can set Unicom for practice in the VHF radio. We're not on VATSIM, but you can do that for good practice. Test the cargo fire. Fire tests for the engines and APU as well. And fire extinguishers as well. Set WX+T on the weather radar panel. Stabilizer trim override is guarded. Rudder trim is 0. Aileron trim is 0 too. Here we are now, just waiting for the passenger bus, and sure enough, here it comes. So, we can now do the pre-flight checklist. So, the oxygen is tested 100%. Navigation, transfer and display switches are normal and auto. Window heat's on, pressurization mode selector is auto, heading and altimeter are set, parking brake set and engine start levers are cut off. So, just about to have boarding start. So I will speak to you guys once boarding is complete. Hey everybody, welcome back. That's boarding complete, so we can get the left entry and cargo doors shut. set the takeoff page on the first officer's FMC and the legs page on the captain's FMC. We can arm the auto throttle. V2's set. We can set runway heading, which is 242 degrees. Whoa. Arm LNAV and VNAV. Initial climb is 6,000 feet. N1 reference bugs are set. Flight deck doors closed and locked. Doors are all closed and locked. We can get the wing and wheel well lights off. We can request boarding from GSX. So we can get all the other fuel pumps on now. Electric hydraulic pumps as well. Hydraulic pressure, you can check it's 3000 psi A and B, which is great. And the brake pressure gauge is around 3000 psi as well, which is what we're looking for. So we can get the anti-collision light on.
Hello, Captain. We
So
are
we're about
ready
to
for
start our
pushback.
engines. Aileron and rudder trim are 0. Set the elevator trim so we can conduct the before start checklist. So
Departure check
the
complete.
flight deck door is closed and
Bypass
locked.
pin inserted.
Fuel pumps are on, passenger signs are on, windows are locked, V2 heading and altitude is set on the MCP, V speeds are set, CDU pre-flight is completed, rudder and aileron trim is 3 and 0, taxi and takeoff briefing is completed and anti-collision light is on. So we're ready for pushback now. So we want a straight pushback, it's not going to be a very long one, as you can see here. So you can now release the chocks, set the block time, start the block time rather.
Locking gear.
Gears being locked. You can get the packs off to prepare for engine start. And MFD has a secondary engine page on it, which is fine.
Release parking brakes.
So
Commencing
start
push.
engine 2.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Start valves open. N2 is starting to increase now. %, N2, so let's get the fuel in. Stop the pushback procedure now. That's our N1 increasing EGT
Set
and
parking
fuel flow.
brakes. Waiting your confirmation
So
for good engine
56%
start.
N2, the engine start switch will click back to off for engine 2 and we can start engine 1 once we've confirmed engine 2 is stable. So engine 2 is stabilized, so we can start engine 1 in the same way. So the start valve's open now. It's closed for engine 2 as it was. Then engine 2's engine start switch clicked back to off. So N2 is increasing. Can start the fuel flow now to engine 1. So the N1, the EGT, and the fuel flow of engine 1 are all increasing, and fuel flow is coming back down to its stable amount, which is fine. Jet2 continues to increase oil pressure, oil temperature as well. So that's engine 1 started. Stabilized, so we can confirm a good engine start to GSX.
Hot picture Brown. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect. Unlocking gear.
So, generator, engine generators 1 and 2 can come on, the probe heats can come on. Temperature outside is 9 degrees, so we don't need any anti-ice. Packs can come back on, isolation valve can go to auto, APU bleed can come off, APU can come off, engine start switches can go to continuous, engine start levers are idle, flaps can go to position 5.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
Flaps 5, so we can do a flight control check. There's no indicator on our instruments of the travel of the flight control, so we can just check like this. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder full left, rudder full right, neutral. And that is our signal on the right. Ground equipment done. Ground services done with the aircraft. Transponder can be set to altitude reporting off. Annunciator panel recall can be checked. And we can now do the before start checklist. Before taxi checklist, sorry. Generators are on, probe heat is on. Probe heats are on. Anti-ice is off, isolation valve auto. Engine start switch is continuous, recall checked, auto brake RTO, engine start levers idle, flight controls are checked, and ground equipment is clear. So we can get the parking brake off and the taxi light on. So off we go now to runway 24. A sunrise departure, it should be lovely. Away from the gate, and the engines have warmed up, so weather radar can come on. Terrain radar is on the MD here, and we can conduct the before takeoff checklist, which is at the flap indicator is at takeoff flaps, which is 5 in this case, and the green light's on, and that elevated trim is set, which it is. So that concludes the before takeoff checklist. So there's not actually a lot we need to do now, so we're actually just holding short of runway or entering the runway depending on the traffic. Now taxi onto the old runway 12/30, which is now a taxiway / car park at the other end. It's a taxiway over here. raining just a bit there, but it seems to have cleared up. There's no inbound traffic. We're visual of that as well. So we can get the TCAS to TARA. So we're about to enter an active runway. Strobe lights can come on as well. So you can just hold short briefly. No traffic approaching, so continue onto the runway with the fixed landing lights on. Line up now on the runway. We're ready for departure, so we can just do a rolling takeoff. So it's 40% N1, start the clock. Engines look to be stabilized, and toga. $80 knots. It's V1 and rotate,
V1.
so gently rotate up into the air. Stay on the flight director crosshairs, turn down just a little. Positive rate and gear up. Trim down just a little bit. It's a very malicious looking sky. Lots of dark clouds. Autopilot. It is a little turbulent. So we've passed the flap 1 bug, so we can slowly bring the flaps up. Realign our heading to match up with our current course. 262 is our next heading. We can now tidy up the aircraft. So the taxi light can come off. the engine start switches can come off, the auto brake can come off, the landing gear lever can come off, and we can set the CDU to legs page on both sides. The after takeoff checklist is that the engine bleeds are on, yes they both are, packs are auto, landing gear is up and off, which it is, and the flaps are up with no lights on the indicator here. So because we're not on ATC, we can climb straight up to cruise, so I'm just going to set 24,000 feet here. Altitude intervention to get rid of the 6,000 feet restrictions. Now climbing up to cruise. So we can set standard QNH as we're now passing our transition altitude. And we're just emerging from the clouds. And that looks absolutely fantastic. The visuals in this sim are just incredible. We're just passing through 10,000 feet now, so we can set the seatbelt signs to auto and get the landing lights off. These visuals are just fantastic. Oh my goodness. So our flight path will be taking us just beside Glasgow as we travel towards the west coast of Scotland. And then we'll be going over the Irish Sea. And then heading kind of southwest. Off the coast of, well, probably be going over the Spanish mainland just a bit, then past the Portuguese coast. And then off the North African coast, Northwest African coast, to arrive at Lanzarote about just over 4 hours from now. We're supposed to be in the air for about 4 hours 24 minutes, I think. So yeah. I will catch you guys just a little bit later when it's time to descend. That was a lovely departure. Just coming over Glasgow now, I think. Got some brilliant visuals. So great departure, and I'll see you guys when we are ready to descend. everybody, welcome back into the descent. We are just off the east coast of Lanzarote, as you can see here. There's the wonderful island. So we're just about to pass through 11,000 feet. Yeah, so we're on the Turtle 6 Papa arrival. Landing ILS runway 03, ILS Zulu runway 03 to be exact. It's a fairly straightforward arrival. It involved us kind of continuing to fly south. The airfield's over here, so we're just going to be flying sort of, well, continuing on our course and then just going around to eventually come in and land here. I don't know if you can see the airfield from here. Yes, you can. There's the airfield. So we're just going to be kind of going round and then coming into land here. So that's us passing through 10,000 feet. So we can get the fixed landing lights on and the seatbelt signs can come back on as well. So there is not a terrible amount to do just yet, although we will start extending the flaps as we continue to descend. We can preset the local QNH, which is currently 1026. So that's some nice high air pressure, hence the very few clouds about. Hence the very few clouds about, yeah. So it's 1026, we preset that just before we actually change, so there you go, and that's on both sides. So we've already passed our deceleration point, so the aircraft should just be slowly bringing the speed down now. Just following this long curved path around to come back round and land. There's not much to it, it's a pretty simple arrival. Got an 11 knot wind. Not enough to really force us into action or over it. So kind of looping around here, going out then coming back in just to align with the runway really. See Fuerteventura, the neighbouring island of Lanzarote over there, very close by. I have been here. It's a 45-minute ferry journey between the south of Lanzarote and the north of Fuerteventura. Zooming up just a little bit. Kind of holding our altitude, flight level 80, just about now. I'll speak to you guys when we're a little bit closer to flat extension speed. Okay, so we've just passed through the transition altitude. So 1026 hectopascals can be set. And bring a little bit of speed brake in as well, just to aid with our descent. And we're catching up with the profile quite nicely, as you can see here. Yeah, we'll speed brake back down there. We're now descending to our glide slope intercept altitude, 2,300 feet. And then once we've passed Gargo, we shall start slowing down to our flat traction speeds. Definitely zoom the ND in. Relatively long final approach path. As you can see, we are going to start decelerating very soon. Practice just a heading bug to match your current heading, just in case you were to require heading select. Specifically be of use, especially be of use if you're on air traffic. Start to zoom in the ND now. We are just about at flaps up speed. So I think just about setting flat. Set flaps 1 here. Just to set from the localizer now. So we can arm the approach. Glide slope armed and we're already approaching the localizer. Get command B on as well. Set flap 5 now. Alright, we'll go down to our flap 5 speed. At which point we can set flaps 15 and bring the gear down as well. We'll just bring the speed down. Right, that's gear coming down now. set the speed brake down, keep it armed. Landing lights can all come on, engine start switches can come to continuous. And we can set landing flaps, flap 30. Set our VREF speed, which is 144 knots. Very nice. So 1,000 feet on the radio altimeter, I will disengage the autopilot. Disengage autopilot. High aircraft. Landing checklists. Engine start switches are continuous, speed brakes armed, landing gears down, and flaps are 30 with green light. Small corrections you want to make. You don't want to overcorrect on the lateral and vertical course.
Approaching minimums.
We're about to reach minimums, we are a bit low.
Minimums.
We will be continuing.
$150.
Clear.
30. 20.
There we go. Bit firm, but fine landing. Thrust reverse is normal. Manual braking now. Welcome to Lanzarote. That was fun. A little bit of a floater. Not to worry. You're safely down here. We're going to be parking at gate Tango 6, stand Tango 6 rather. Request ground services. So we can tidy up the aircraft now. We can get weather radar off and the auto brake off. Just come up to the apron now. Get the flaps up. The speed brake will come all the way back up. Side. The engine start switches off. Landing lights off. Strobe lights off. Here's our start now. Stop. Parking brake set. Get the APU started. Probably a little late, but it's alright. And down, Lanzarote. Doesn't look like the jetways are working on this scenery. Must be a v5 thing. Get the transponder off now. The APU generator's on and we can stop the engines. Engine start lever is cut off. Propells can come off. Seatbelt signs can come off now, as well as the anti-collision light. All fuel pump switches apart from the left forward can come off. These ones are already off. Hydraulic switches, the electric hydraulic switches can come off. Packs can remain at auto. We can open up the isolation valve and turn on APU bleed. Recirc fans are auto again. And we can get the flight directors off. So we can connect back up our ground equipment. Should have stopped this clock when we came off the runway. Can get the chocks back on and request ground power. So that's the block time over. 4 hours, 32 minutes. A little early. Yeah, a little shorter block time than I would have thought. That's because we had a nice tailwind on our way down here over the North Atlantic. So you can the ground power on with the APU off. And the left fuel pump can come off. And get the parking brake off as well. So the shutdown checklist is just fuel pumps off, propellant off, hydraulic panel set, flaps up, parking brake is on, engine start lever is cut off, weather radar off. Concludes everything. Now we can commence deboarding. Oh, our flight today has come to a conclusion. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. I don't think there's jetways working here. I'll have to look into that. But yes, it's looking very good. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Look out for the next video. I'll be trying to upload full flights more regularly this year. So yeah guys, from me down on the ground here in Lanzarote. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the not too distant future. See you later guys. Thank you.